Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Flight of the Amazon Queen. Didn't have my mouse pad and mouse quite ready, up front and ready. I put it to the side on a side table because I'm sitting in a recliner chair that doesn't have a table in front of it. It doesn't matter. Well, we really struggled in the last recording to try to just figure out what the next step was to get the vacuum cleaner. And it turned out, I guess, that we were supposed to look at the beef jerky stand and see that it's empty. And somehow derive the assumption, and this is where you get into the kind of what they call moon logic. Although, honestly, I wouldn't even know if I'd call this moon logic as much as just not making a close enough logical connection. That you were supposed to see the empty beef jerky stand and then try and give the beef jerky to Trader Bob instead of trying to put the beef jerky in the stand, which didn't work. And when you give the beef jerky to Bob, he eats it because he's hungry, and that's just where the logical connection is missing. It would have made a lot more sense if he said he was hungry as part of the beginning of our conversation, or if his idle animation here, instead of him just scratching his ear, was to grab towards the beef jerky, or even rub his stomach. Just give some kind of idle animation as far as he's hungry. And yeah, a more modern take on something like this, if you were playing an RPG game, would be he would have like a quest indicators showing above his head saying that he wants something, or he would have a thought bubble even, although I've never seen a game actually do a thought bubble, but that would have certainly helped. But yeah, you just had to make that logical leap to get the vacuum cleaner, which then you also have to make the logical leap that the vacuum cleaner looks enough like a pesticide sprayer to get us into the Lederhosen area, the supposed Lederhosen factory. And then I think that's going to get us into the back half of this first act. Probably. We've completely lost our female lead in the story, which I guess has happened twice now. We had a female lead show up in that first cutscene and she just disappeared from the story, and now we have another female lead who's missing. So we needed to show the vacuum cleaner to this lady to make her think we're a pest sprayer and that this is a pest sprayer. Alright, let's see if we can just walk to the door.
Hey, told you already. No one is allowed back there.
Sorry.
And at some point we want this pencil, and at some point I think we want to press the buttons. I wouldn't be surprised if we even want to steal the Lederhosen.
It's a bit too early for cleaning.
And see, using the device is not working.
Excuse me.
So we're going to have to
What
talk.
do you want?
This is one of the earlier point-and-click adventure games, and frankly it seems like it was made by a smaller company, so you can see how a better version of this would have multiple interactions potentially lead towards the same solution. That way, if the player's not quite thinking the same way as the writer of the game, it still works and we can still make forward momentum. Otherwise, you run into the danger, like in most point-and-click adventure games, where the player may just throw up their hands in frustration and give up because they just have no idea. And this certainly would have been a game that would have come out before it would have been very easy to go online for free and find a walkthrough. This would have been something where you have to call the makers of the game for a hint, or even worse, they've set up a 900 number tip line that charges you money for hints. I'm lost. I was hoping that could help me. Let's just choose the right. answer.
I've come to fumigate the place.
Oh yeah. Have you got your equipment with you?
You bet. I have it right here.
Great. I want you to do all the rooms except for the library. We don't want you to find any secret passages.
So, yeah, if this was more like a Fallout game, like an RPG game with more of an emphasis on dialogue things, it would almost make sense that you would have grayed out lines of dialogue that in parentheses said needs vacuum cleaner. Of course, that would be a bit of a spoiler to the solution, but in modern days you kind of want the games to be super streamlined and just idiot proof, whereas these old point-and-click adventure games are not popular anymore because they weren't idiot-proof, and you could mess up and you could have trouble. So, let's ask what secret passages.
I must be losing my mind. I meant spicy parmesan. Yes. Stay away from the library because that's where we store our cheese.
I guess we're getting back to kind of just a consistent gag here that's not paying off, and that everyone behind the desk tends to be a very fat person. Which on one hand, I guess you applaud for the diversity in body types in a point-and-click adventure game, but on the other hand, it is definitely just being done for a joke. Alright, let's see if we can now push the light switch.
It's on.
Actually, let's just walk to the door and look at the rest of the place. So we've got a phonogram. I don't know if there's such thing as a phonogram. Maybe there is a phonogram. And then a couch and a grandfather clock and a painting and a statue arm and a light switch and seemingly one specific book and then several books. Let's just look at everything.
Architecture of Spanish castles. How to hide an army. The Trojan Wars. Hidden rooms. Build this guy.
So there's several different responses here.
Avoiding unwanted guests. How to build a better bunker. Secret architecture of Spanish
That seems to be all your options.
This book seems different to the others. It's on.
So we'll just look at everything here.
It looks loose. I wonder what could hide here. That's range. It looks like an antique, but it's brand new.
What would be funny is if there is like no secret,
I just found some money.
no secret passage at all. Interesting, we've just found some more money.
There's nothing in here.
So we'll probably use that to buy something else later.
That's odd. It's just an empty record that says Elevator Music Collection.
I feel like we found something that said Elevator Music Collection before in the previous section. Alright, well, let's turn off the light switch. That would be the most ridiculous way to open a secret passage.
It's dark in here.
Now, what's interesting is there's a pair of eyes over here.
The others.
Two on top of a pair of glowing eyes over here. Let's see what happens if we move the book.
This book seems different to the others.
Let's see what happens if we move the statue arm. Let's see what happens if we use the phonograph.
Nothing happened.
Let's see what happens if we open the grandfather clock. grandfather clock.
That doesn't seem to work.
See what happens when we move this.
It's dark in here.
Yeah.
This book seems different to the others.
Nothing to do with the... Seems like there's nothing to do with the rug. It is a tempting little puzzle in that it would seem to me like the goal would have been to just do something simple, and then they've made it really complicated.
Nothing here.
So that does create more of a puzzle than you were expecting. Now if I walk this way, we have a messy kitchen, and this feels almost like a direct reference to Maniac Mansion, in which somebody died, or you could die easily. Maniac Mansion, you could die very easily, and if anything, it set a very bad precedent for where point-and-click adventure games could have gone. Fortunately, only really Sierra stuck with that idea, and I feel safe enough to not have to save.
Less better, I think.
Alright, let's open the refrigerator.
I can't. The door's molded shut. I don't see inside. This place could do with a cleaner. I ain't gonna do it.
So you have a knife standing out here as an item, but it's not interactable. And that's where you get into this problem, certainly, is that there is a lot in this kitchen potentially a creative person could interact with, and only some of it is actually interactable. And I guess at a certain level, that's why you start to see some fairly generic, repetitive textures and models in a lot of games, is that once you've seen something repeated 4 or 5 times, you're trained as a gamer to ignore that item, or at least know its inherent value, whether you can interact with it, pick it up, or not. Let's start with hamburger and fries.
Hamburger, fries.
Lunch is already ready, sir. And besides, I don't take orders.
How about a glass of water?
There's no light switch here. Seems like you can't pick up anything. So I guess the question is, can we walk to the right?
What are you doing?
Move here.
What does it look like I'm doing?
Gee, take it easy, pal. I just wanted to know what you were cooking.
I'm trying to make the lunch, but his sensitive teeth makes him real about what he eats. I tell you, he's driving nuts.
Let's see. So are we supposed to find ingredients for his lunch? Or are we supposed to find something that just hurts his teeth?
Any luck in making the doctor his lunch?
Not at all.
There's like a frog here.
And you have me with no help.
I'm here for kitchen duty.
You're not Henry. Who are you?
I'm Joe King, pilot for Harriet, fighter, fire. I'm actually a work experience student. Let's go with that one.
Work experience student.
I don't want any help. Only profession race this kid.
Now, it does seem like maybe if I piss him off 1 or 2 more times, he might actually kill me. Can we walk to the door? No, so we can't look at the calendar either, I'm sure.
It's you again. Get out already.
What are you doing?
I'm right in the middle of forming brain search. What is it look like I'm doing?
Geez, take it easy, pal. I just wanted to know what you were cooking.
So you can't click through this dialogue to skip forward, which that is something you would be able to do in more evolved versions of point-and-click adventures. And you really do need it.
This is a waste of time.
You're telling me. Now, beat it.
So all I can do is just leave. So we have 2 different paths. Let's see what happens when we use the light switch now. We have 2 glowing eyes on the mannequins.
I'm trying to work here.
Sorry.
So we can't hit this panel, I'm sure.
Hey, keep your mitts off that.
So we need the door to close, I think, to be able to turn off the lights, to then maybe steal the pencil. I don't even know why we need to steal the pencil, though.
Hey, turn the lights back on. I'm trying to work here.
Sorry.
So we made this bit of progress, and yet I don't think it helps us that much.
Trojan Wars. That doesn't seem to work.
Pick up books.
I don't think they need that.
See, all we did was end up with money. And maybe we have elevator music at the storefront. Let's go check that out. Because otherwise it seems like we can't do anything here. We're having a very standard point-and-click experience in which they're having us walk backwards and forwards to stretch out the length of the game. Of course, a point-and-click adventure game would be really annoying if it was just super easy. Maybe we can sell the machine back to the vacuum cleaner back to Trader Joe, although I wouldn't be surprised if we actually use it to build a rocket later. Or Trader Bob, I guess is his name.
Howdy, Bob. Hello, Joe.
I guess our main character's name is Joe.
I've got a question like that.
What do you want to know?
I don't know if the store called Trader Joe's existed.
Thanks for answering my questions.
No problem.
I think I'll browse.
Let me know if you find something you like.
Okay. So we have bucket of nets, which we can't purchase because we're not a special customer.
Excuse me, I'd like to buy this.
I'm sorry, but those are special customers only. They are not for sale.
Sorry. I'd like to buy this.
Sorry, but that's not for sale.
Let's just try and pick up everything.
I'd like to buy this.
Sorry, but that's not for sale.
Just a lot of things in here that's not for sale.
I'd like to
So why even be able to interact with
Sorry,
it?
but that's not for sale.
Excuse me. How much this?
I'm afraid that costs more than you can afford.
Excuse me. How much this?
I'm afraid that costs more than you can afford.
These telephones, by the way, are the old kind of telephones that very possibly you wouldn't be able to find a replacement or install a replacement. Originally, the telephones belonged to the telephone companies, and you were at the whims of the telephone company to fix any broken telephone whenever they felt like it. You couldn't buy your own models or makes.
I'd like to buy this.
Sorry, that's not that style.
And there's just nothing here you can buy.
I'm a pirate. I'd like to buy this.
Sorry, that's not that style.
As much as I'd like to, I think I'd better leave it here.
So there's nothing here that you can purchase except for the alcohol, which needs an ID, and the nets, which needs to be a special person. Use this.
It's a bit too early cleaning.
Use this with this.
It's a bit too early cleaning.
Oh, here's the record. That's what we came for.
German poses. Elevator music collection. Excuse me. How much this?
I'm afraid that costs more than you can afford.
So we need more money.
I'm rich.
Well, that seems very weird. That we need more money. And I really don't have a direction to go. Unless I'm supposed to give the banana to the guy. Let's give everything we can to Trader Bob and see if we can get some more money that way. Maybe there are just multiple things that would give us money.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on a while longer. No way, it ain't Christmas yet. You look a little hungry there, Bob. I thought you might like some of this food.
Thanks for the offer, Joe, but I've got very specific tastes.
It might be we need to give the banana to either the sloth or
I'm gonna hold on a while longer.
the cook.
I'm gonna hold on a while longer.
Otherwise, we're just going to have to
As much as I'd like to take your money, you gotta pick out something you like first.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it. I'm gonna hold on a while longer.
So that's like every item. I'm almost 100% sure I need the scissors. Let's think of this. Maybe the vacuum cleaner can pick up the perfume. That makes a little bit of sense. If I can use a vacuum cleaner to pick up the perfume, then I can get the hair scissors, then I can get the hair of the sloth. At that point, though, I didn't need 2 other ingredients for the rash cure, and I'm not 100% sure what I would get with that, where I'd get those other items. Let's just hope this works. Vacuum cleaner on perfume.
It's a bit too early for cleaning. Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it for a while longer.
So that didn't work. So now we have to walk through 2 empty screens. And I just don't think we're going to get the fish before we get the net and catch the bug. Or get the net to catch the fish. So we won't get the bug before then. It's worth testing though. So let's see if we can use vacuum cleaner on the beetle.
No way. The beetle would die if vacuum cleaner.
So that's a no.
It's a bit too early for cleaning.
So we need the net to get the beetle. And I guess maybe the beetle might be part of the rash cure too.
It's a bit too early for cleaning.
I'm giving the banana to this guy. Doesn't work. And I don't think we're at the point where we can get past the gorilla either. So it seems like the move is to definitely be in this area where we've unlocked new stuff. But once again, the game is not really giving you any help. Let's see what happens if we give the banana to the chef.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what is it? I'm a busy man, you know.
I think I have food that you would safely give the dog.
Oh yeah. What?
A banana. It's soft, mushy, and low in calories. Here.
This is just what I need. Hey, you're a lifesaver. I have this to dock right away. Keep an eye on my kitchen while I'm gone.
Now, what you would have as far as a funny sequence here is that you would solve some kind of puzzle and eventually burn down the kitchen. But obviously, we can pick up some dog food. And can we open the dog food, or
it doesn't seem to open.
Are we going to have to, say, go a little old school and use a knife to open a can? Which is very dangerous.
I don't want to cut that.
But doable.
I think one is enough.
Alright, we'll go ahead and pick up some cheese blitz. Pick up some more cheese blitz.
I've got enough.
We'll look at the beef stew.
Gross.
We'll try and pick it up anyways.
Why the heck would I want that?
And then I guess we'll look at the calendar.
It's another Russell calendar. I'm sick of them. Why the heck would I want that?
Faye Russell, totally missing. And see, this looks like a snake, but what it actually is a fly trap, a sticky bit of kind of film paper that comes in a rolled coil, and then you pull down the rolled cardboard exterior and it turns into this long strip where flies will just randomly land on it as a surface and get stuck. It's not particularly a great fly trap because it doesn't really stop flies from coming more, or keep them away from view. In general, you just want to avoid having flies in the first place, if you can.
It doesn't seem to open.
Let's see, use stove.
That doesn't seem to work.
Let's look at the
It's
stove.
on.
Guess we could maybe move the stove?
I can't move it.
Well, if you can't use the
That
stove,
doesn't seem to work.
if you can't move the stove,
That doesn't seem
you
to
can't
work.
close the stove, then that seems to me like that's all you can do. I don't know why you can
I can't.
potentially.
The door's molded shut. I don't want to see inside.
I don't know why you'd be able to even interact with the refrigerator door.
I
if
don't
that was
want
it.
to cut that.
Alright, well, there's a lot of stuff here, but
Gross.
unless I'm supposed to put some kind of food
I'm not feeling that hungry.
in the beef stew. Give cheese blitz to beef stew, no response, no audio dialogue. You can kind of tell how some of these options were not programmed for. Then use they can
I'm not feeling that hungry.
also cannot be used in the stew. I thought maybe you'd boil the dog food to open it. But that's a lot of interactable stuff when very little of it is helpful. We've got some pinup girls, Lola showing up here, and Faye. So it's reoccurring ladies instead of just random ladies, which I guess there's something to that idea. If you were going to make a sequel, you'd bring back Lola, bring back Faye.
There's
Look
a
at
letter
that.
inside.
Look at this letter.
Private John. Looks like a girl's handwriting.
So it's a Dear John letter. The girl breaking up with the guy in the military once he's shipped out.
It's addressed to Private John. Looks like a girl's handwriting.
Yeah, I could see that going over a lot of people's heads, certainly. Why do we have military-style barracks and a Lederhosen thing? I don't know.
No need for me to take that.
I don't know if you'd really call these kinds of cabinets a foot locker.
I used to have one of these when I was a kid.
Being that it's not actually at the foot. It's at the foot of the bed, I guess. So now we have a squeaky chair.
When I was a kid.
So this is the dog trainer, it looks like.
I don't think they need that. Either this guy's a dog handler, or he's got very interesting hobbies.
Only one foot locker is interactable.
Looks nice.
Which would make more sense to then not have the other foot lockers around. So we've got a door this way, and it seems like nothing more anywhere else. It still does kind of come off, though, like this would be more comedic if you had a sidekick with you, if not two sidekicks with you. It'd be kind of crazy to have both Faye and your mechanic guy following you throughout the whole game, but compared to like Fate of Atlantis, it makes a lot of sense that Faye would be around and would be making fun of you or questioning why you're always doing these weird actions. Plus, in Fate of Atlantis, you also see there are several times where it's actually beneficial to have a co-op character that can distract people or otherwise let you get
that hungry.
past certain gates and challenges. See if we can give the food to the dog.
Here, boy. Want some dog food? Calm down, boy. Looks like trying to not to take food.
So we're gonna use the dog food for something else, apparently.
Hello, boy. I've got you a present. Here you go.
So I wonder if there was something more we were supposed to do. Apparently not. Just a squeaky toy.
He looks happy.
So here we have a giant factory, and there's just this top secret. I assume that's supposed to say do not open. Entire storage facility. It's a padlock on it, so we may need a key. Making small bits of progress here.
It's closed. It's locked.
Now, you could probably, assuming this is a cardboard box, and not like a wooden crate, just stab open a square of the box to see what's in there. Unless, of course, you have some concern that there's like a dinosaur lady in there, which why would you? We haven't even seen that.
I don't want to cut that. I don't want to cut that.
So unless we could just open the padlock.
Doesn't seem to open.
Use that padlock on.
That doesn't seem to work.
So I wonder what I'm supposed to do with the letter. Is there a Jon character we could use it on? I guess the general question would be, can we pick up the padlock?
I'd rather leave it here.
Or can we pick up the box?
I don't think they need that. These crates are made out of rainforest timber.
But yeah, that gag has already been said, that they're made out of rainforest timber, which makes me think we're probably supposed to set them on fire.
I'm a pilot for hire, not a pyromaniac.
But it's not really letting me do that.
Pilot for hire, not a pyromaniac.
It's not even indicating that that's what we're supposed to really do.
Now ain't the time to be playing baseball. Now ain't the time to be playing baseball.
Cheese blitz.
Yeah, cheese bits. I used to eat all the time when I was a kid.
I got like several different items.
Beef and anchovy flavor. I can't imagine a dog eating this.
Maybe Joe at the trader shop would have something new to say. Plus we have just several items here. Otherwise I'm not 100% sure what the next step is. We could potentially try and hand everything to the tall pygmy as a character. We can try and, let's see, just give every item to the witch doctor.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it a while longer. No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
Anything that I think might be the answer.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
Interesting.
No way. It ain't Christmas yet. No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
We're getting just like default responses.
Nah. I'm gonna hold on for a while longer. You look a little hungry there, Bob. I thought you might like some of this food.
Thanks for the offer, Joe, but I've got very specific tastes.
So maybe one of these will give us
You
some more
look a little
money.
hungry there, Bob. I thought you might like some of this food.
Thanks for the offer, Joe, but I've got very specific tastes.
Nah. I'm gonna hold on for a while longer.
Let's see if we can use the dog food
that hungry.
or give it to the parakeet, Wedgwood.
Here you go, Wedge.
Hey there. Don't feed the bird. He's on a diet.
Okay. Here you go, Wedge.
Hey there. Don't feed the bird. He's on a diet.
Okay.
We'll try and give the letter to
No
Naomi.
thanks. I've grown attached to it.
And we'll try and give the letter to Bob. But we're really looking for a character
It ain't
named
Christmas yet.
John.
Hello. I'd like to talk, but I gotta fly.
Well, with a file, you could open a can that way. It would be not a very good way to open a can. There's a trick on concrete where you can grind the edges of a can to open it just by going in like circles, but you will almost certainly have to avoid some metal splinters if you do that. It's really if the world has ended and you can't find a can opener. It's probably a little bit safer to use a knife if you're trying to avoid metal shavings, but it's less likely to stab yourself if you were to grind it on cement. Of course, there's no cement in this game, so that wouldn't help us much. I guess we'll just see if we can give things to this guy.
It ain't Christmas yet. No way. It ain't Christmas yet.
Like, I have no reason to believe that this guy would even want any of these things. Okay. So let's just see if we're supposed to talk to the secretary, maybe? Oh, you know, we didn't really talk to the other guy either. If there are new lines of dialogue showing up.
It's you again. You should be working. What do you want now?
Let's ask about this. Why are you stamping the sheets of paper?
Why are you stamping those sheets of paper?
Because it's my job. That's why. And your job is to fumigate place. Now get to work.
I wonder if maybe you're supposed to swap out her stamp from a X to a check mark.
Hello.
What do you want?
What's so special about the library?
Didn't I tell you already? The library is off limits to all outsiders, and it's none of your business. Why?
Let's see.
What about the cockroaches in the library?
We've got plenty of books to keep them occupied. Now get back to work.
So maybe we were supposed to follow the chef and see him go through like a secret passage. Doesn't seem like that can occur now.
This place could do with a cleanup, but I ain't gonna do it.
Did we miss something? If we picked up the leashes.
Why the heck would I want that?
Well, the reason you take the leashes is undoubtedly at some point you may want to tie somebody up, and you're halfway there, certainly with a leash. I think you could probably figure out a way, certainly, to tie people up. Let's see if we can maybe do something with the letter.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it a while longer. That doesn't seem to work.
Man, we really are just wandering around. We can't pick up another flower. That's not where I meant to go, but it's worth it, I suppose, to double check and see if anything has changed. I guess the question to ask here is certainly just, what are the names of all these characters? Is any one of these called John, Bud, and Skip? We will go ahead and try and give the letter to Bud.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it for a while longer.
Give the letter to Skip.
No thanks.
I'm not getting the prompts every time. Cheese Blitz to Skip.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
Cheese Blitz to Bud.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it. Beef and anchovy flavor. I can't imagine a dog eating this. Yum, cheese bits. I used to eat these all the time when I was a kid.
Give dog food to Bud.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
Give dog food to Skip.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it for a while longer.
What's going to be annoying is this is going to work on one person and one person only. Let's see. Give Cheese Blitz to the gorilla in the costume. Let's investigate this more.
Hey, big guy. If I give you some food, will you take a hike?
No way! This is my log and I'm staying here.
Let's see. Seems like that's the response with any food.
Hey, guy. If I give you some food, will you take a hike?
No way! This is my log and I'm staying here.
Let's see if the letter works. This would be the funniest way to get rid of them, I imagine.
No thanks. I've grown attached to it.
Let's see, use that on.
Now ain't the time to be playing baseball. I've gotta go now. Hello again.
What is it this time?
How did you do that disappearing trick before?
That's my little secret.
Oh, I bet I'm supposed to just...
That is easy to do if you don't really exist.
This is probably... just the dialogue challenge, and I was just supposed to figure it out a lot earlier.
Would you disappear again if I said you don't exist?
Maybe. But of course, you'd have to say that I don't exist. And you wouldn't really want to do that. Would you?
Sorry, pal. But you don't exist.
Thanks a lot, bud.
I have strangest feeling of deja vu.
So yeah, basically at any point I could have gotten rid of him to go to this point, and obviously whatever's past this point doesn't matter up until now, but it would have potentially created a better situation, certainly, because we would have had more to interact with, but that would have just confused the issues more.
I don't see anything special.
Alright, so we have an incredibly deep gorge on a hollow log that we may fall down if we go through again. Now we have a path to another area. And there's a swarm of wasps, which we want to capture. Do we have what we need potentially to capture the swarm of wasps? Probably. You have a kind of awkward backwards and forwards path here. So yeah, we could have gotten to this point.
That is certainly brighten up any girl's day.
Let's go ahead and pick up the orchid too. Is there anything else to interact with? This tiny little waterfall.
Cute.
Now there's seemingly no path on the left side here. It's almost like they wanted to animate yet another waterfall, but then at the last second they scaled it all down. Alright, let's walk to the path. And so it seems to me like there's a new door here that we'll have to figure out how to open.
I think I hear someone coming. I better hide.
So we have like an animation cutscene here. We haven't got a lot of these. An Amazon lady walking up to the statues, looking around, pressing the button on the left.
Sister. Hail! Did you hunt well? Yes. Tonight we will roast and native berries. Excellent. My palate tingles in anticipation. You may enter the fortress.
Weird that there's not somebody actually behind the rock.
Wow, real Amazons.
So we can try to get in here, but I imagine they're gonna say no, and we're gonna have to cross-dress.
Well, here goes nothing. Just my luck. A trap.
That's probably the way to move the story forward.
You're in big trouble now, mister. Men are not allowed here. Come with me.
Later that day in the Amazon dungeon.
Hey, let me out of here. Oh, Ray. No, I'm stuck in some stupid jail.
So this has just forced us into a different area, but I would have to assume that there's actually very little you need to get out of this area. It would really suck if this was just like, this is your game over scene. So we have a bedraggled prisoner, an exhausted prisoner, a tired prisoner, a sleeping prisoner, and a torch. That seems to be it.
I'd rather not wake him.
I don't really want to have to talk to all these people.
What do you want?
What's your name?
I'm Ernest Wilkins. Ernie Wilkins. That's me.
Are you a famous explorer?
Yeah, well, sorta. I've been looking for this damn tribe for years. And now I finally found why. Was it worth it?
I don't know if Ernie Wilkins is a reference to anyone or not.
Is there any way out of this place?
You don't want to leave, do you? What do you want to leave for?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I have this thing about being locked up.
Hey, you gotta lose after a few days here. You'll be just like Bert over there.
What? Insane?
No. Mellow.
I think you should get some rest.
I think so too.
So do we have anything that would help him sleep? I guess not.
I'd rather not bother him. Excuse me. Yeah,
So we only talked to 2 out of the 4 of these people.
Where am I? You're in the Amazon dungeon. Amazon dungeon? That's bad. Isn't it? Bad?
No, that's good.
What's so good about being in an Amazon dungeon?
You really don't know, do you? The Amazons are a tribe of all vivid warriors. They need outside males to help keep their tribe populated. Know what I mean?
What exactly will the Amazon do to us?
Well, they won't harm you. On the contrary, you'll be fed and clothed. But in return, they require certain services that only men can give.
Do you mean handyman work?
Yeah. Short of. You'll see.
So basically they're just keeping them as sperm donors. Male fantasy, all Amazonian things. Which, logically, that doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're a all-female tribe, it would make a lot more sense to simply kidnap females at a young age through raiding and attacking other people in the area than it would be to kidnap and have to feed and lock up adult males to then impregnate your warriors, which would then make them incapable of being warriors for at least a few months there. It only makes sense to do that if you believe in like a bloodline purity concept, and so you're trying to pass down the Amazonian DNA, and that thus you would keep a breeding stock of male adults. Of course, if you were going to do that too, you could probably just swoop into other villages and sleep with men whenever you want. Like swoop in during the night and have an illicit affair and then leave that way, and not even show that you were Amazonian. Clearly the whole idea is more of a male fantasy than a practical implementation. There is certainly also a danger that if Amazonians got pregnant and then they had little boys, that then they've got to get rid of the little boys somehow. And there's just no reason to do that, or no reason to believe that humans who have emotional attachments to their children would get rid of their little boys and have an all-female society.
How long have you been here?
Now let me see. About 2 days.
2 days? You look like you've been here for years.
Yeah. It's all the hard work that we have to do. It makes us look older.
I think I've heard enough.
Okay. I'll get back to my puppet show.
Right. As far as the puppet show goes, is there something I'm supposed to do with that?
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it for a while longer. I'm gonna hold on to it for a while longer. Alright, nice and warm. No thanks. I'm a wild-eyed loner at the gates of oblivion. Excuse me.
I figured we'd end up with one of the puppets.
Nice hands you have there.
You really think so?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Start with the
one with the stick.
That ain't a stick. That's a baseball bat.
It's not a baseball bat. It's a stick.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. This is a baseball bat.
Hey, that looks like the one my puppet has.
Why do I bother?
Seeing that you're so interested in it, I'll let you have it.
I don't want it.
You don't want it? I'll have it. You ain't getting it. My new friend here is gonna have it.
Thanks. But I'll pass on my socks.
Just take it.
I don't want it.
You know you want it.
It's funny in a point-and-click adventure game to say you don't want it.
Of course you do. Now take it.
I don't want the stupid thing.
Take it.
For the last time.
If anything, they've created a scenario where the character is so headstrong they're having to force him to take an item when he's totally willing to pick up pretty much everything else.
You're gonna hurt my feelings just like that?
For crying out loud. Just a puppet.
Fine. I extend the hand of friendship.
Too much lines of dialogue, sir.
Right already. I give in. I'll take it.
I know you wanted it.
Anything to shut you up. You said I could have it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Did too.
That's it. I ain't talking to you no more.
Oh yeah.
Still too much dialogue.
To you no more. What did I do to deserve this?
So we get the puppet, and that triggers the escape.
Look who we have here.
And Faye is finally back in the story after like 3 hours of gameplay.
If it Joseph King. I should have known you were the cause of this.
It's been a long time since we've had one of these zoom-in conversations.
I decided to help myself. I came across a tribe of Amazon women kind enough to feed and shelter me.
Let's go with boy, I'm glad to see you.
Boy, I'm glad to see you.
I bet you never thought you'd say that. It's about time you started to appreciate me.
Are these really Amazon women?
100% bona fide Amazonians. They're really nice people. They just want to keep themselves and live a peaceful life.
Where the heck am I?
You're
Guess I have
currently
to
in the Amazon dungeon. This is
choose
where
everything.
any men that they capture snooping around. Not a bad idea. I could use one of these myself.
Well, are you gonna get me out of here?
That depends. Are you going to apologize for all the trouble you caused me?
Let's see. Let's go with okay, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused. Seems like you could probably go through all of these lines of dialogues, but it would just stretch out the game.
Okay. I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused.
You don't sound sincere enough. Try that apology again.
Okay. So, seems like maybe you have to start all over again if you don't apologize multiple times.
Okay. I'm really sorry. Will you forgive me?
I might forgive you. Okay, you're forgiven. Just don't do it again. By the way, there's someone here who wants to see you. Follow me.
Well, we're watching her walk away, but I don't have the cursor, and I wonder if I'm supposed to get the other puppet or not. Seems like you don't have to get the other puppet, so let's just ignore it, and we may come back and have to be back in the dungeon to get the other hand puppet.
I'm cooped up in some smelly dungeon. What's going on around here?
Joe, the head of the Royal Amazon Guard. Tell him your story. We are very sorry to have used to bring you here, but we had no other choice.
You could have tried a telegram.
Our princess is in grave danger. We believe that she was captured by evil men exploder.
Your princess? You don't mean Azula, do you? Raider Bob told me all about her.
He has? You already know about her?
Of course I do. I am a man.
Music is getting kind of repetitive here.
Right. So are you going to help rescue the princess?
Hey,
It's not particularly the best music.
You are? Joe. I don't know what to say.
Well, you could say something nice for a change.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Well, you had the nicest person we crashed.
What do you expect? My career is on the line here.
Hey, so is mine.
Sorry to interrupt, but we are wasting precious time. Perhaps you could put your difference aside for one moment.
I will, if she will.
All right. Good.
Well, I guess I better go and rescue the princess then.
Thank you, Joe. Good luck in your mission.
Kind of a long cutscene after already having a lot of dialogue. The Amazonian...
I guess I gotta find that princess.
Amazonian golden statues here, not exactly how I'd expect them to be. Giant long swords and more of a Roman centurion style helmet with shield. Amazonians generally thought of as being more archers than broadswords. We've got several background Amazonians being shown off as far as just more ladies. And interestingly, we have one of a darker skin tone. So, but then everybody else is a very light skin tone, and some of them are even blonde. So, it's almost like these Amazonians come from all over the world. We have a grooming Amazonian back behind this point, which I'm not sure about that. What's going on there? Sporting Amazonians. This one's listening to a cassette player or CD player, portable music player of some sort. Well, we got a hand puppet, we've got to a new area, we're making progress slowly towards, I guess, the rash cure, and I guess getting to this point probably will give us a key to some kind of logical gate that we couldn't have crossed, and we probably needed to do this. It would have been nicer if we had been kind of forced to do this before anything else. It's nice to see Faye maybe show up and be more of a character. She's still not really following us around or acting as much of a character. potential love interest at most. But yeah, they're trying to soften her a little bit as a character and not just have her be obnoxious and rude exclusively. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. I suspect we probably have at least 3 more hours of gameplay. So in total, this might be somewhere around the 10-hour game that could widely vary based on just how lucky you are on figuring out solutions. If you're very unlucky, I could see spending twice as much time in this game just trying to figure out the solutions, and if you're using a walkthrough, you could probably beat the game in 4 to 5 hours. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.